Our next watch is actually from the same company, Volmax. This is one of their other brands, the Aviator brand. The Aviator watches truly have an aviation heritage. In fact, the Aviator watch is the official watch of the Swifts, SWIFTS, which stands for something in Russian I could never pronounce if my life depended on it. But it is the Russian equivalent of the Thunderbirds, and every one of their pilots wears one of the Aviator branded watches, and in fact the logo, the Aviator logo, is on the side of all of their MiG-29 Fulcrums. This particular watch is a little bit different, something you don't see that often these days, because it is a true mechanical alarm watch. And it has a mechanical alarm. That's what this secondary crown here is for. In fact, I'm going to see if I can get the alarm to go off so you can hear that truly mechanical sound. There you go. You know, there's just no mistaking that. It's not the sound you're going to get from a quartz watch or some other alarm. That is a truly mechanical alarm, and you can even feel the watch vibrating on your wrist when that alarm goes off. Some other interesting things about this particular model, some touches that Aviator has put into this model. For one thing, it has this rubberized bezel, and there's a rubberized protector on the crowns as well. This particular watch, because it has a screw-in crowns, is 5 ATM water resistant. So one of the things that they did is this band on here is while it's a leather band, it has a polyurethane coating on it to make this band more water resistant than your typical leather band. Again, you're talking about this alarm, mechanical alarm movement. This watch is $299. At $299, you know, again, if you were to try to find a Swiss or comparable mechanical alarm watch, first of all, I challenge you to even find that many watches that are made with a mechanical alarm these days. But to get it at this price with the 316L stainless steel, this has a sapphire crystal both front and back. It has the exhibition case back with the Aviator logo etched onto the glass. And this, you know, the alarm movement too just looks so cool because of the way it has the bridge work across the top. It's just such a rugged looking movement. This is also a limited edition, a numbered limited edition. I'm looking to see how many there are of this one. This was $999. Okay, so there's only 999 of this particular model made. A little bit different here with the white face and some of the other things they do to give you that kind of military feel. The open hands, so they don't block the face very much. The fact that the chapter rings are reversed and you have the second hand on the outside and you have the hour hand on the inside just makes this a little different. I mean, this is a watch that's going to catch somebody's eye when they see it on your wrist. A lot to offer here. Again, as I mentioned about the Vostok Europe earlier, you know, things they've done here, the fact that you have this nice curving on the bezel, that this has this kind of a brushed nickel look as opposed to just a plain stainless steel or something that's gunmetal gray. What they've done here in terms of the casements that are around where the crowns screw in. Just a lot of attention to detail that makes this more than just your average watch. The fact that the case back screws in, you know, that's not an affectation. This is truly a screw-in case back on this particular watch. Just so much to offer for the price on this particular watch. And the last item we have today is another Vostok Europe. This is the Vostok Europe Arctica model. This is one of my personal favorites of Vostok Europe. I just love the look and feel of this watch. Like I said earlier, every Vostok Europe watch is named after either a cultural, architectural, or technological achievement of the former Soviet Union or of Russia. This one in particular is named after the atomic icebreaker Arctica, which was the first surface ship to actually make it to the North Pole. The first one. You know, the Russians actually did a lot of firsts. We know that, for instance, that they were the first in space with Yuri Gagarin. In fact, the other brand that is made by the Volmax company, the Sturmansky, that was the watch that was on the wrist of Yuri Gagarin when he went into space. The Russians did a lot of firsts. They were really good at the technological side and being the first out there. They just weren't that good at the PR. So you don't know about it as much as you know about maybe, say, our first here in the U.S. or some of the ones in Europe. So this was the first surface ship to the North Pole. And again, like Vostok Europe does, the throughput of design and styling in here, there is no question what this watch is named after. If you look along the side of the case here, you see these rivets. These rivets are reminiscent of the rivets that are actually on the hull of the Arctica icebreaker, and these are actually separate pieces of metal that are put into the case of this watch. This is not a stamping. This is not just a stamping on here to make it look like that. That is a truly separate piece of metal riveted on here. On the face, you have the waves that run along in a guilloche style, that they're waves that run along to give you the nautical feel. The base of the second hand is an anchor. The fact that the rivets are also along the lug sides here, and again, look at the cutting on here that they did on this case. That you're talking about a $299 watch here. You get so much for the money with the fact that you've got these edge cases along the lugs. This is an exhibition case back, a fully decorated movement. You've got the Geneva waves on the rotor. I was talking earlier about the fact that these are proprietary movements of Vostok Europe, and the only watches in the world that have these movements. And you see the blued screws and this extra decorations on this movement. It's just that much more to talk about. What when you're wearing this watch and your friend notices, says, well, this looks different, and you can talk about the fact that this movement is that you can't get it anywhere else. That this is named after, and it says it on the back, Atomic Icebreaker. This particular model, $999 again. Only $999 of this particular model made in the world. And you may be noticing too. This is also a different kind of band, like I was pointing out on the Aviator earlier. This has, while it's a leather band, it has a nylon coating to stay with that nautical theme. It has the nylon along the band, just something you don't see every day. It's just not your typical everyday band on this watch. And the blue just gives you such a nice through line on the blue on the band, matching so well on the blue on the face of the watch. This also has a couple of other additional things to it. For one thing, there is a day and night indicator on this watch, and I'm going to try to make it work. As you can see, the red changing as we move. Red means day, black means dark. Just another little thing that's an extra added value on this watch. It also has the 24-hour GMT indicator up here. That's not the date. The date is actually at the 6 o'clock position. This is the GMT indicator. So again, with the Arctica model, the same thing as I was talking about with the Vostok Europe. There's so much to offer, the story that you get to tell, and look at this watch. It's not just your typical watch. It's not a standard round case or even your tonneau style. It's this rectangular style, with the curvature along the edge. There's just nothing simple or basic about this watch. It's going to catch people's eye. And in fact, this watch, especially in the rose tone versions of this watch, is very popular among the women because the size is small enough to be unisex, but again, large enough to look rugged on a man's wrist. And so that represents the lines that we have to offer today, and we're going to wrap up there.